How's everybody doing? My name is Clay Mordson, and I am the president of the Sonoma County Vintners Foundation. I'm also one of the co-chairs of the 2020 Sonoma Wine Auction, and we are very excited to have all of you here viewing live. And I could not be more honored to have our two honorees this year, Chef Charlie Palmer and our vintner honoree, Daryl Groom, and two of dear friends of mine, but two of the most wonderful people that you could ever ask to be citizens in Sonoma County. So I want to introduce Charlie and have him talk a little bit about what it means to him to be the honored chef this year, and what Sonoma County means to him.
Yeah, sure. Well, listen, I appreciate being on with you, of course, Clay. But I think when we've moved here to Sonoma County, moved my family here to Sonoma County, well, almost 16 years ago now. And moved across the street from Daryl. So, we connected pretty early on there. It's been great for us. And, I think, our four sons, as you know, have grown up here, all went to, high school here, Cardinal Newman, and, really experienced wine country in its best sense, and I think, for me, it's really a revelation to be in a part of the world where everything we do is about agriculture, growing grapes, but also growing everything else, and the access to all the ingredients and what we do in the chef world. There's no better place to be. So, I think, we're blessed with that. But I think the most special thing about Sonoma County is the relationships that we've made with everyone like yourself and Carrie and the kids, and really being able to be part of what's really great about Sonoma County and the agriculture, but all the people here. It's a people place. It's a place where you can raise a family. It's a place where you can have great success in whatever you do, as far as the winemaking aspect of everything, but also, what we do in the kitchens and hotels, restaurants, just there's hard to find a better place to be, So, we're blessed. That's what I say to people.
Well, Charlie, I know you well, and I know you're a modest person to begin with, but I think you're being extremely modest right now. And, I think anyone who knows Sonoma County will mark the day that Dry Creek Kitchen opened as the day that forever changed the, perception of Sonoma County as now truly being a world famous not only wine destination, but food destination. I could go through the list of accolades that you have garnered in your career, but I think that unspeakable, definable accolade is the one that means the most to us, because you truly have helped put Sonoma County on the map as being one of the great food destinations in the world. And you have meant so much to our community in all of the charitable stuff that you do, whether it be Pigs and Pinot or Project Zen. You two guys right here are the yes men. You never say no to anything. And I can't tell you how much it has meant to our community to have you be a part of it, but also to be a part of this auction. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about exactly what all these proceeds go to. But thank you from me and the other two co-chairs, Mark McWilliams and Jake Bilbo, for agreeing to be a part of this, because it means the world to us to have you. So thank you.
Well, I'm honored and a pleasure. Thank you.
And now, the man who needs no introduction, but we're going to let him introduce himself anyways, Mr. Daryl Groom. So if Charlie has an illustrious career as a chef, I don't even know how to describe your winemaking career, Daryl, other than, multi-continental, award-winning, infamous, and I know that you would probably say your proudest accomplishment is what you've done with Colby Red and the millions and millions of dollars you've raised for charity. But I don't want to steal your thunder. Daryl, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your influence in Sonoma County and what it means to you to be a part of this event.
Yeah, thanks, Clay. That's a sweet introduction. So, but first of all, I'm really proud to be the honoured vintner, and couldn't be more happy that I get to share it with dear friend Charlie Palmer. So that makes it extra special. And I think next Thursday night when we celebrate, Charlie and I'll be together and having a few glasses of wine. And, my sentiments are probably very similar to Charlie's. I had what I thought was the greatest winemaking job in all the world. I was senior red winemaker for Penfolds in Australia, making Penfolds Grange, you know, arguably one of the greatest red wines in the world. And Penfolds had bought a half share of a winery in Sonoma County, and I really didn't want to leave Australia in my job, but they said, hey, Daryl, you're the best guy to go to Sonoma County, and it will only be for 3 years and you can have your job back. So I came to make wine in Sonoma County 31 years ago on a 3-year contract. And I knew within the first or second year that this was a special place, and it was where I wanted to raise my family. The reasons why were, you know, on an immediate level were to do with winemaking. You can't make wine in a better place in the world with the diversity of climates we have here, and the diversity of winemakers, and growing every variety there possibly is. You know, that was like a kid in a candy store for me. But the second level was the wine community, and how interactive and supportive they were of each other. And even now, you know, just during what we've gone through with these recent wildfires, you see that community interaction and support that winemakers have for each other. I know winemakers during the mandatory evacuations were calling other winemakers in Sonoma County saying, hey, are you open? And if I need somewhere to process my grapes, can I take them to your winery because we can't get into our winery? Yep, absolutely you can, and vice versa. I've seen the sharing of information with the challenging harvest that we have. So, you know, all of that is what I want to be absolutely part of, that you're not making wine in a vacuum, you're doing it with support of a lot of friends and a lot of help along the way. And I think the other level was just the community in general, how everybody supports each other, everybody's embracing, everybody's caring. I see that through fundraisers when people are in ill health. You know, I see, you know, what Charlie and I do with Pigs and Pinot. I see the smiles from people's faces where we get to grant a lot of the proceeds from there. But that's happening all across, and so it's a pretty special place for me, and it's where I am forever.
Certainly ingratiated yourself to the community, and you also are a pretty good job of lobbing up those softballs for me to tee off on, because in perfect transition to why we're here, what we're here for. As much as the three of us get to hang out whenever we want, we really are here for a purpose, and that purpose is the Sonoma County Wine Auction. And, you know, Daryl, you talked about how giving this community of vintners is, and just a couple quick facts. The Sonoma County Wine Auction has raised $36 million since its inception, and every single penny of that goes back into our community. This year alone, in a year that our community has needed it more than ever, we have put $4 million into nonprofits in our community. And in fact, the Sonoma County Vintners Foundation is the largest philanthropist in Sonoma County. And it's because of the participation of not only the vintner community and the wineries involved, but the chefs, the people that love Sonoma County and just would die for this place, that want to make it a better place for everybody. And that's what we're here for. And we all know that there's been immense challenges this year between COVID and social unrest and fires, but our community needs our support more than ever. And, you know, one of the big premises of this year's Fund a Need is we need to help bridge the digital divide. You know, this whole concept of distance learning is something that, as a parent of 3 kids, was never even on my radar, you know, months ago, but now it is a harsh reality that our kids are attempting to learn from home. And when you think about how blessed we are and still struggle with it, think about the families that don't have access to internet. Think about the families that don't have laptops, don't have devices. Think about the kids out there that maybe are confined to a wheelchair or don't have the dexterity to use a device. There are so many challenges, and we as a community have really focused in on that And that is going to be what we're aiming to bridge this year with the proceeds from the Sonoma wine auction, is to make sure that we are making Sonoma County a better place for everybody. We're creating more equality in how people learn distantly. And you guys are going to be a big part of that. So without further ado, I do want to talk about some of the Celebrate from Home packages. Have you guys checked these out? Have you seen some of this?
Well, I'm celebrating as we speak, but no, I need to know about the package, man.
Look,
there's a few of them
when life
available.
hands you lemonades, you need to make, life hands you lemons. See, I'm so positive I said when life hands you lemonade. When life hands you lemons, you need to make lemonade, right? And while it is really sad that we don't get to have our traditional live auction and everyone in-house, the reality is an online auction, a digital format, allows us to reach exponentially more people. We're not confined to those people that can fit in the tent or those people that can get to Sonoma County on this weekend. The exciting thing about the virtual Sonoma wine auction is you get to celebrate from home. And there are some absolutely incredible options for people to do that we're calling our Celebrate from Home. And for as little as $200, you can get 3 bottles of wine shipped directly to your house so that you can participate in all of the events starting on September 17th with the best party ever. We have wineries like Chalk Hill, you've got Williams-Salem, you've got Arista, Mortson, Limerick Lane. I mean, there are so many incredible wineries, people like Williams-Salem, Rombauer, that you may have to wait for years on a mailing list just to get a bottle. If you want to do the Celebrate from Home package, we will ship that bottle to your house so that you can hang out with Charlie and Daryl and the rest of us. How can it get better than that? So please, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you go to sonomawineauction.com and register for the event. But check out some of these Celebrate from Home packages, because there are some really incredible, not only values there, but access to some great wine and the opportunity to celebrate with us, because the one thing I can promise you is we are going to have one hell of a time with all of the events. So you guys have anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm sending one to all my kids.
Attaboy, attaboy. And you're going to be sending the chairs package, right? You're going
Yeah.
to go
Oh,
home,
they're all
right?
getting one. So I need to get online straight after this.
There you go.
That's SonomaWineAuction.com. I'm probably going to say that about 1 million more times, but you guys will get used to it. What I want to talk about now is some of the incredible auction lots that we have. There are going to be some, again, unique opportunities for people to log on no matter where you are in the world and participate in the auction lots. And, I think one of the things that was unique about the Sonoma Wine Auction is there was an aspect of accessibility previous, to this year. We had auction lots that would sell for $10,000, $25,000, and granted, we had auction lots that sold for $500,000. But that's one of the things that really makes us different from our neighbors that make really good auto parts to the east, is that their auction lots completely inaccessible. They start at like $250,000. I mean, let's get real. One of the really cool things about this year is with our online auction, we have some auction lots that I think are going to sell for the 5-digit range, and maybe some that'll go up into 6-digit range. But whether it's incredible collections of wine, stays in guest house and wine country. I know we all want to be socially distant and get some fresh air. There's no better place to come to than wine country for that. We've got hot air balloon rides. We've got days on the bay. I mean, there are so many unbelievable online auction lots that are available for people that it's going to be accessible. You're not going to have to drop $25,000 just to say that you're a part of the event. Which one do you have your eyes on, Charlie?
I want to know about this sailing excursion. I want to be out on the water,
One thing I can tell you is I will not be on the water with you. You know very well that I have a little problem with seasickness. So.
My big question is, how much wine can we take on the ship, on the boat?
That is a really good, I know that it comes with a magnum for each couple. So we are talking about the Gamba online auction lot that includes a little sailing on the bay. But somehow I have a feeling that there's not going to be any limits to what you can bring out there. I think the question you should be asking is, you get to bring a fishing pole. I mean, come on.
Yeah, be out on the bay, a little fishing. glass of wine or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah.
We might bring in a little hibachi and do a little cooking on the boat also.
Yeah, that's what you would be tempted to do, to cook the fish there.
Yeah, well, in case we catch something, we want to fillet it fresh, little, right on the grill, maybe a little sashimi on the side, a little fillet right on the grill, that should be great. So anybody out there that's going to buy this, thinking about this, please invite me, will you? If I don't win the bid,
Are you agreeing to cook for the winning bidder, Charlie? Is that what I'm hearing? Are we going to have to rewrite the description?
That could work, yeah.
Dana or Julia, whoever's listening, you're going to have to get to work on some copyright. Charlie's going to cook for the day on the bay. Only if it's A-grade sushi, right?
Yeah, we have to catch fish, though. We have to catch some fish.
And I can tell you, when you get sick and throw up over the side of the boat, it doesn't help. Gumming doesn't work when you're trying to catch salmon. Sharks maybe, but not salmon.
When we take clay fishing, we take some saltine crackers. That's what we take.
Daryl, what auction lot do you have your eyes on, my friend?
I don't get a say. My wife outbids me. She gets a tear in her eyes and she puts her hand up and says, "Oh, I got to help the people."
So I think really what we need to do is we need to handcuff you in the other room and put a gag on so you can't stop her from spending.
Yeah, no, just go for my wife. She's the one that bids. So tell me what she should be bidding on.
Well, I mean, look, you got some really accessible, amazing auction lots. The Acorn auction lot is 3 magnums. They do not make magnums, so this was specifically, for this. I should say they make like 5 magnums a year. So, you can have, a 3-bottle lot with a special tasting, or you can go big and you can do hot air ballooning. Have either of you guys ever hot air ballooned in Sonoma County?
No. I wanted to do
I've been booked to hot air balloon twice in the last, I don't know, few years, 4 or 5 years. And both times, it was foggy and, they canceled, so I haven't had the opportunity, but I want to do that. I want to go hot air ballooning. I could be big at hot air balloons,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have never done it. So Notre Vu is doing an incredible list of magnums. They're also doing a $400 gift certificate to Farmhouse. So you can either go have an amazing Michelin-starred meal or use it. You want to go stay the night there, you get to use it for your choice. But it also includes a hot air balloon ride. And I'm one of those people that every time I wake up at 5 a.m. and I see all those people in the hot air balloon, it really pisses me off because I'm jealous.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I'm looking outside and they're floating past.
Yeah.
Looking down on this beautiful, from the blue skies in the morning on these beautiful vineyards. You can almost hear them sometimes too.
And, we were talking a little bit before we came on live about the Acaibo auction lot and a stay at the Trinité Estate in Chalk Hill. And again, I can't say it enough. I know that given all of the things that our country and the world is going through with, COVID and social unrest, there is a huge demand for people to just get outdoors, to get away from the everyday hectic aspect of all of our lives. And what better place to come than a little weekend getaway in a wine country? You get to have your own stay at this amazing guest house in Chalk Hill, surrounded by vineyards and the beauty of Chalk Hill. So that is just one of a number of incredible options to get to come to wine country and do some social distancing in one of the most beautiful places in the world and drink great wine. So make sure that you go online and look at all of the incredible online auction lots that we have. I want to switch gears now and talk about some of the live auction lots. And we're going to put you two on the spot because if there was an auction lot that I had my eyes on, as much as I can hang out with you two anytime that I want. Charlie, no offense, we have dinner all the time, but to get you, in the same room, as one of the other most well-known chefs in not only California, but the United States. And Daryl, I hear you might be pulling out some of those old bottles of Penfolds Grange from the cellar for this dinner. Is that right? So talk a little bit more about Nancy Oaks and what you guys have cooking, Charlie.
Yeah, well, listen, first of all, for those that are in the know, we hardly ever do a dinner at our house where I am right now. But with what's all been, everything that's been going on, everything, I said, when the time is right and when we can do it, we'll host this party at the house. And of course, Daryl's going to be there side by side with me with the wines and making sure that whatever we're going to cook is going to be well paired. But I think the most important part is the two Lisas will be here. And, for them to be hosting, Lisa Palmer, Lisa Groom here at the house, that's the special part of this. And then in addition to that, our good friends, Nancy Oakes and of course, Bruce Adele, don't forget, are going to join us. And to have dinner with Nancy and Bruce, of course, is special in itself because, Bruce, his storytelling, he's an icon, obviously, in the whole business of sausage making. And, anybody that's ever walked in a grocery store in the world knows about Adele sausage, but that's just the beginning of what he does. And, he's a great friend of ours. We have dinner together, often. So, that's going to be very special. And of course, Nancy, one of the most accomplished chefs on the West Coast, but in the world, really. And, as such a great conversationalist, really, really, super smart about wine, of course, because of where we are, where we live, and, all her history in buying, millions and millions of dollars of wine for the restaurants and what she's done. So I think, it's going to be quite an event. It's going to be selective. I already know two bidders out there that are very anxious to get started on it. 3 now. And so, if this is something that interests you all out there, anybody that's on, you gotta jump on this quickly because it's going to go big. It's going to go for, a lot of dollars, and those dollars are going to help our neighbors. Those dollars are going to make sure that we're doing great for our community. I think, Daryl and I, obviously, and Clay, we do so much philanthropy, not because we love it, because we are honored to do it, and creating something that's, that, like you said, it's going to make our community better. That's going to help someone that's a little less, fortunate than we are. We always thank our lucky stars for where we are today. And, I think it's our duty and that's our pleasure, to do that. So, this better be a big auction, a big lot. And I think, there's going to be some big bidding, and hopefully we're going to do a lot of good with it. So, Daryl, add to that. What are we going to do otherwise? We're going to have any game night also?
Yeah, just a couple of things that come to mind there first. So Charlie talked about Nancy and Bruce. So I had the pleasure to meet Nancy and Bruce at one of our Pigs and Pinot events where Nancy was the guest chef, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. We sat with Bruce, and what a character, and just an interesting guy to talk to. But the following day, my wife is going over to Bruce's house to work out where they're going to put beehives all over his property. So, just this sort of immediate connection and warmth that comes from that couple. So, so regarding the wines for the night, now Charlie and I will need many dinners together as we plan this. Many wine drinking times as we plan what we're going to.
Left out of the planning process?
No, you might be able to come over and add. But
You're always invited, Clay. You're always invited. That.
But the general idea is, I'll choose just 1 or 2 of my wines just to start the evening off, and then the idea would be to move into some really classy, great, high quality Sonoma County wines, both young and old. And then, yes, I have one of the biggest Grange collections, and the only reason I still have a huge Grange collection is because they live in Australia in my wine cellar there, and I live here. So if we lived together, I probably wouldn't have any now, but I have a full set of Magnums, old bottles. I have a bottle actually going back to 1951 that, for those that don't know Penfolds Grange, the recent auction price in Australia for a 51 Grange was $110,000 a bottle. Now, I'm not going to open that bottle in case unless I get really drunky. But I have an idea. I'll fly back to Australia if they allow us soon, and I'll be picking some magnums of Grange and St. Henri and Bin 707 and that'll probably be the anchor towards the end of the night. But focus will be definitely on Sonoma County and the great quality wines that we've got here. But yeah, if you like magnums of Grange, yeah, there'll be a few. I've been waiting for the right occasion to drink them, Clay.
Well, hey, if for some reason, and I have a sneaking suspicion, and I'm hopeful that it's going to blow past my budget very quickly. If you need an assistant sommelier or, a waiter, some eye candy, I mean, I'm there, whatever you need.
I think the 2 leases have already said you can come. They need a pool boy.
Yeah. I was
I mean,
going to say,
again,
might include a hot tub time, So,
and the other thing, just so you know, Charlie's got this magnificent place that is, well, it's not quite next door, but it's on the same road, whatever. So for those that bid for it, you're going to have a fantastic time there.
Well, the term once in a lifetime, money can't buy, I think those things are overused. But for those of you watching out there, this truly is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, when do you ever get to go to the home of one of the most famous chefs of our generation, who also invites one of the other most famous chefs of our generation to cook for you in their home? But then you have one of the iconic winemakers of our time opening up some of the most incredible, hard to get wines that the world has ever known. And this is just an amazing, amazing opportunity. So thank you guys for contributing to it, for being a part of this auction lot. And I know it is going to be spectacular. So kudos.
We won't run out of food or wine.
Guaranteed.
I'd be more worried about the bedrooms than the food and the wine.
Bring a tent and a sleeping bag. Or buy one of the other auction lots where you've got accommodation down the road.
There you go. See, exactly. Daryl, I like the way you think. All right, so I'm going to talk about another auction lot right now. And Daryl and Charlie, you guys can pipe in because I know this is near and dear to your hearts. But we have dealt with an unprecedented litany of events in Sonoma County over the last 4 years. We've had our 3rd major fire this year. We've had floods. As I mentioned earlier, the whole world is dealing with COVID. And this year we're going to do a special lot, aside from our Fund to Need, and we'll get to that later, but we're calling it the Kids Crew Cuvée. And it is such an honor to chair this event with not only 2 of my best friends in the world, but 2 of the greatest winemakers, winery owners that Sonoma County knows, in Jake Bilbrough from Limerick Lane and Mark McWilliams from Arista. And one of the things that makes this community so special is how we truly are friends. And not only are we friends, but our children are the absolute best of friends. And our kids are so involved in what we do as a family, because this is a family business. My son is out there because he finished his, distance learning early today. So he's out working in the cellar right now. It is really special to watch these kids grow up together. And Charlie and Daryl, I know you know this intimately, but my oldest son has special needs, and his 2 best friends in the world are Jake Bilbrough's son, Cruz, and Mark McWilliams' son, Jake. And the way that they have, accepted him and made him just one of the guys has meant the world to me. But that translates into everything, not just on the playground at school, not just in sports, but in their love of wine and love of their family tradition. So this year, we're going to do something really special to raise money for the immediate need in our community of fire relief again. So we just added this lot. It's going to be called the Kids Crew Cuvée. And our sons are all going to get together to make their own blend of 2019 wine from our best barrels that Arista, Limerick Lane, and Mortson have to offer. And literally, Brady, Jake, and Cruz are going to make their own blend. And if that sounds insane, it's not the first time this has happened. Cruz Bilbrough made a blend that he did for Emerald Lagasse Foundation, and they raised over $500,000 by auctioning off bottles of this wine. And I'm not saying that's what we're expecting here, but this is going to be the epitome of a once-in-a-lifetime wine. And we're going to pull out all the stock. We're going to pull out the best barrels and let these kids create something. And all of the money raised from that lot will go to immediate relief of anyone that was affected by this latest round of fires. So whether it was someone who lost their home, someone who, lost their rentals, a first responder that's dealing with challenges. So this is going to be a unique lot that, let's be honest, we hope we didn't need to have this year, but we are honored to put this together to make sure that we're responding to the immediate concerns in our backyard. And like I said, it is going to be a very, very special once in a lifetime lot. And it doesn't hurt to have 3 dads that are I think we're all right winemakers, all right winery owners. So it's going to be a really special lot. So make sure that you keep your eye out for that. The Kids Crew Cuvée, an honor to our love of everything New Orleans and where this lot originated with the Emerald Lagasse Foundation. Daryl, you look like you're just itching to add something to that. You're gonna
no, why not? It touches my heart that that the kids are doing that, and it's something that to me just has. It's not just about the wine; it has this huge emotional pull, and I have same thing with my son with heart disease and the things that we've gone through, and I think there's just something magical about doing that with the next generation and having them participate and them learning at such a young age the value of giving back and participating and everything. So I'm just melting. It's like, oh, I'd like to buy that. I got to get one of those. So
I can put you down. I'm going to put it down right now. 2 cases for Daryl.
Yeah, absolutely. You got me.
Put 2 cases for me, will you?
If it sounds crazy, I think Daryl can attest to this. That my kids, and I know this is true for the Bilbros and the McWilliamses, our kids make wine every year. We're so proud of my family's 7th generation grape growing heritage in Sonoma County. I want our kids to understand what it is that pulls me away from putting them to bed some nights. It pulls me away from a sporting event because I'm at work. I'm at the winery during harvest. And they have such a deep appreciation for our history because we ingratiate them to it. We have them be a part of it. And they love making their own wine. It may only be, in 1 barrel at a time, but you'd be surprised. They're pretty talented little winemakers. So
yeah, that's cool.
It's going to be very special. All right. The next lot that I'm going to talk about is really what we're kind of referring to as the co-chairs lot. And our kind of take on this is going to be the best of Sonoma County. This is what dreams are made of. So we're going to start with accommodations. You get to stay, 2 couples get to stay at the Farmhouse Inn. And I know Daryl and Charlie, you guys know how incredible, what a wonderful little slice of heaven that place is. You get to stay there for 4 nights. You get to have 3 of the best meals of your life while you're in wine country at Charlie Palmer's Dry Creek Kitchen, at Single Thread, the only 3-star Michelin restaurant in Sonoma County, and at Farmhouse. You get to spend 1 day each with the co-chairs, where Mark is going to give you a backwoods tour of his version of Russian River Valley. And then Jake is going to show you what real winemaking is all about with Zinfandel. And then we're going to take you to the real Zinfandel country up in Rockpile and Dry Creek. So you get to really kind of, understand our little nooks and crannies of the valley. But one of the most incredible aspects of this lot is that you also get to fly private. And we could not be more honored to have an incredible partner this year at the auction. One of our sponsor of the auction is FlexJet, and we've got a little message from FlexJet about this auction lot. So please listen in.
At FlexJet, we are inspired by excellence. When creating our new Red Label flight crews, we look to the U.S. Air Force. and saw a higher standard. Other operators rotate pilots through their fleet of jets, but at FlexJet, each Red Label crew is dedicated to one aircraft, to one another, and to you. At FlexJet, you won't just be flown, you'll be moved.
So how incredible is that, guys? You get 5 hours of FlexJet time so make sure you time it out well, to get to Sonoma County and have the absolute best that Sonoma County has to offer. And I'll tell you, one of the hidden gems of Sonoma County is the Sonoma County Airport. You know, literally, you can land at the Sonoma County Airport and you can be at Charlie Palmer's Dry Creek Kitchen in 10 minutes. That is zero exaggeration. When you land at Sonoma County Airport, you're already in the heart of Russian River Valley, and you are 10 minutes from Alexander Valley, Dry Creek Valley. It is truly one of the differentiating aspects of Sonoma County that we have this amazing, not only commercial airport, but private airport that you are going to get to fly into on this lot and then have what many people would describe as an absolute dream vacation. So the chairs get pulled in a lot of different directions, and we're a part of some amazing, amazing auction lots. But this one is one for the ages. Charlie, tell me about what you think about this lot.
Clay, I can tell you from experience that flying FlexJet is not bad. and if Daryl would let me, we'd have a jet parked there at the airport if we could go in together, because we need to fly around privately these days. But no, I mean, look, as Clay said, and everyone out there, we're one of the most accessible locations. So wherever you're coming from, you jump on this jet and you're here, and we'll have a glass of wine in your hand, within 20 minutes of landing at the airport. So there's nothing better. It's a very safe, it's a very perfect place to be, right in the heart of Sonoma County. As you said, 10 minutes to anywhere in any valley, but it's great. And the hospitality starts on the plane, because they do a great job. They really do, and I can say that from experience, because they're really the top-notch people.
Well, I'll tell you what, so let's start with Sonoma Jet Center, because that's where you fly in and out of when you're flying private in Sonoma County. They are unbelievable. And you said have a glass in your hand in 10 minutes. They'll have a glass in your hand when you're walking down the red carpet. I mean, Sonoma Jet Center they are absolutely phenomenal. I haven't had the chance of flying on FlexJet, but I have had the opportunity to fly out of Sonoma Jet Center on some amazing helicopter rides. But they do an unbelievable job, and they are such incredible supporters of not only just our community, but the Sonoma County Vintners organization. So we are proud to partner with not only FlexJet, but Sonoma Jet Center for this unbelievable auction lot. Daryl, how are we going to get you involved in this lot? Everyone seems to be involved but you. I mean, something's missing here.
On this one, I'll bring the wine.
You'll bring the wine. All right.
There you go.
I know the jet center. I haven't done FlexJet, but it looks. Once I saw that, it's like I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have flown out.
It is a really cool lot.
Yeah, a few times down to Paso Robles and that sort of thing. So it's and as you guys both said, airport's so easy and comfortable, and yeah.
Daryl, didn't we fly to Vegas once out of there?
No, that might have been a different Darren. That probably was my twin brother, the naughty one. No.
Yeah, exactly. We
got to a boxing match down there.
Yeah, what happened in Vegas, we don't know, but
I'm just trying to figure out what happened to my invite. I mean, what the hell?
That's a couple you've missed out on, Clay.
Vegas private jets, the rest stay silent, but that's public knowledge right there. Come on.
Well, we did not, the seasickness thing came into thought, so we didn't want to make sure, we wanted to make sure you're okay.
We're not talking about the pools in Vegas, Charlie. We're just talking about flying there.
There you go. Yeah.
The last thing that I really, want to talk about, and then we can just, shoot the what. But I talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's our fund a need this year. And, I know that auction lots aren't for everybody. Not everyone can, fork out, $1,000, $5,000, $25,000 for an auction lot. But everybody can help support our fund of need. And, we've kind of taken the approach this year that, it's death by 1,000 cuts. We're going to take every $5, $10, $20 donation that we can get, because every single dollar, makes an impact in our community. And the fund of need this year, again, is to bridge the digital divide in our community. And we know that it is a huge problem. I think it's a problem that everyone is facing, let's be honest, with all of the social learning that is going on in the country. This isn't something that is unique to Sonoma County, but I think that it's something that Sonoma County really grapples with. We have some inequities in our society to begin with, and this is just exacerbating that. So the vendors, like they always do, come together to make this a better place for everyone to live and call home. And I think this is an immediate need that we can address. And there's something really gratifying about that, because we've supported education for years, and there's, in my humble opinion, there's nothing more important than providing a equitable education for all. But a lot of times we don't see the results for that for years to come. And third grade literacy has been a big push of ours. And while we're seeing, the inklings of that 8 years down the road, we know that for $10,000, we can put 50 Wi-Fi hotspots in Sonoma County. We know that for $100, we can put a camera on a laptop. Again, think about that. It's not something that we've thought about. I have a dinosaur laptop computer that doesn't have a camera on it. How do you participate in a Zoom meeting with your teacher if you don't have a camera? I mean, those are things that we never had to think about before. For $250, we can provide internet for a family for 3 months. These are the tangible, impacts that we can make with a relatively small, give. And that's what our ask is, we know everyone can't participate in the live auction. We know everyone can't participate in that online auction, but I think everyone can participate in our fund of need. And whether you have the capacity to give $250,000, and I do want to give a huge shout out to the Foley family. The Foley family has announced that they are going to be making a $250,000 donation to the wine auction this year, and with the majority of that going to support the digital divide. That is absolutely unbelievable. So we've got a great start, but every $100, every $50, every $25 makes a huge impact. And remember, you can go to sonomawineauction.com is where you're going to find all the information, all the events. That's where you register. There's absolutely no cost to register. So you can tune in to Charlie and Daryl and Mark and Jake and I. And let me say this, I'm going to tease you with the Thursday night best party ever. We are going to have some incredible special guests. We are going to have some former professional athletes from the NFL and Major League Baseball. We are going to have some former head coaches from professional sports. We are going to have one of the greatest known, most iconic names in whiskey. There are going to be some incredible people involved in this, so you don't want to miss that. That's all I'm going to leave you with. But starting with the best party ever on Thursday, September 17th, and culminating with the auction on Saturday, you can register with no expense at all. We hope that you will buy a Celebrate from Home package, and if not, support us, drink along with us. But also think about making a donation, to the fund of need, because you can do that at any time. You can do it during the auction. You can do it right now. You can do it at your leisure. But, we're really trying to make Sonoma County a better place to live. And all of you out there that have supported our wine, supported our restaurants, supported our hotels, inadvertently and directly have been a big part of our community, and we want you to continue that. So, Charlie, Daryl, what do you guys want to add? Otherwise, we're just going to hang out and drink for another 10 minutes.
You know what, Clay, I want to add to that, because, I had somebody that interesting I was talking to the other day about that, like this, fund to need. And it was an interesting take on that, because he said to me, look, I'm going to donate $20. He said, I know that's not a lot of money, but I'm going to donate $20. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to skip going to Starbucks for 2 days or 3 days. You know, I thought to myself, yeah, that's interesting, because, you know, we all do this, right? We all, you know, spend it. We have habits, we spend money. That, you know, he said, because it's going to make me feel better. I'm going to feel good doing something good for someone that's less fortunate than I am. You know, and I thought that was a really compelling statement, that, you know, like someone doesn't have the wherewithal to donate thousands of dollars, you know, but they're going to say, I'm going to forgive. I'm going to go without Starbucks coffee. I'll make coffee at home that, you know, those few days or whatever, and donate $20 to the cause, because I know that's going to help somebody that is not as fortunate as I am. And you know, I thought that was an interesting take on it. So, you know, if people can do it, encourage it. It makes you feel good. You know, it makes us feel good. Part of what, you know, I get out of this, and I'm sure Daryl's the same way, is that you like the idea that you're doing something good for someone else. And, you know, we're going to continue to do that as long as we're breathing and living and cooking. So, you know, join us on, you know, on this event. Is going to be crazy. It's going to be great. Lots of people, lots of really good people, fun people. I can't commit to them yet, but I think Mr. Woodson's going to be with us. You know, oops, let that slip out. Yes, he will be. He will be.
So this is the first time hearing that you two are going to be hanging out on Thursday night. I'm going to be in some studio, yet to be named, secret location. What are you guys going to be doing? I mean, I want to know this.
Oh yeah. We got a whole party night planned.
Yep, Charlie has 2 of his kids home and his wife, and I have my wife and the kids home, and so we thought we'd get together and do the Zoom together, and celebrate, you know, a great evening, and you know, hopefully with the funder need, that we get 100% participation. Everybody has different means, but it's a chance for everybody to participate. So we'll be watching that with enthusiasm, and making sure that everybody is a little bit part of it. And I think, you know, the message to people is, it's anything you give goes twice. It goes once to the people that we're going to help, but this organization is supported by all the winemakers in Sonoma County. They're looking at what's happening. And I think with the recent wildfires and the, you know, COVID situation, that one of the things the winemakers in this area need is a smile on their faces, and watching the success of the auction and helping others is just one way to put a big smile on everyone's face. So Charlie and I'll be there having a glass of wine with a smile on our faces. We get involved in it as well.
Hey Clay, Daryl doesn't even know this yet, but we're going to be doing like some little cooking tips also. You know, as we go. I'm gonna be teaching Daryl some magic on the stove. So, you know.
and Clay, I need it. There is a funny story for the first time I ever that when you have yourself curled over laughing that only an Australian could do so badly.
I remember the first time I had to cook for Charlie. Daryl, I was more nervous to cook for Charlie than I was to ask my wife's parents for her hand in marriage. I mean,
you know, my problem was I wasn't worried about cooking for Charlie where I should have been. And we ended up having a couple of bottles of wine before I started to cook. So that was part of the problem too. But I don't think Charlie realized how bad it was. Now he's taught me well. I'm really, really good.
Sometimes the fire gets hot, you know. All right.
Well, again, please go to SonomaCountyWineAuction.com. Again, SonomaCountyWineAuction.com. Register for the event. You will not be disappointed. It is going to be an unbelievable sequence of events, starting with the best party ever, on Thursday, September 17th, and then culminating with the actual auction on Saturday. And hey, you get to hang out with us. You get to hang out with Mark McWilliams, Jake Bilbro, the Sonoma County Vintners team, and as I said, some really, really incredible special guests that you will not want to miss. So thank you for tuning in. Please come out to support this organization. It makes Sonoma County and the ripple effects of that makes Sonoma County a better place to live for everybody, and the ripple effects of that are huge. So we thank you. We'll see you later.
Looking forward.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.